Okay, today is September the 2nd, 2019, and right now at 9:20 p.m. we have a temperature of 78 degrees here in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is 60%, the dew point is 63 degrees, and the barometer is on the rise, and it's at 29.95 inches. All right, so we're looking at Hurricane Dorian right here. This storm is now stalled in place. Nearly stationary according to the National Hurricane Center. Notice the evaporation pattern taking place here in this 8-hour loop. Now this storm was moving westbound early this morning, and it's been basically parked right over this island in the Bahamas. By the way, the Bahamas is where the Artemis.bm is registered, that weather derivatives and options catastrophic bonds dealer. Their whole operation is registered out there. So if there's anything redeeming about what's going on in the Bahamas, that would be the one single thing I could think of. All right, we've got to stop the financial incentives for gambling on the weather, particularly when we have weather manipulation. And like what we're seeing here, this storm was moving due west, and now it has been stopped. We can see the high pressure going in, and look at this evaporation pattern here. Everything is just disappearing. All these bands are evaporating as this area of high pressure is going in. We can see the outline there here in the infrared. This is the long wave infrared map, band number 14 on the GO-16 satellite. So for the time being, we don't know what's going to happen. All we know is we see that high pressure is going in. We've also got some high pressure between this weather system up here and the top end of Dorian, the north end of this storm. So this is not going to be going anywhere for a while, it looks like to me. This could be parked here for several more hours, I would say. Also, we see a blast pattern right here. So the storm has been weakened. Let's go ahead and look at the National Hurricane Center map for the East Coast. Here is Dorian, the statistics right now at 9:15. We've got 130 mile per hour sustained winds. That's actually a Category 4, the very bottom side of a Category 4. And we've got 946 millibars. So this thing has raised quite a bit. This was down around 911. It was down at 911, which is I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but that was the lowest recorded pressure according to the National Hurricane Center. And today we see that it's up at 946. It's been stalled in place, and we can see some blast pattern activity on the periphery of that storm. They're not hitting the eye wall, obviously, because the eye wall is still very well organized and intact. Let's go ahead and look at the, by the way, here we go. We've got another disturbance out here in the Gulf of Mexico with a 60% chance of hurricane formation in 2 days. And out here we've got another disturbance with a 30% chance. And then over here we've got one right off the west coast of Africa with a 80% chance of hurricane formation. So we'll keep an eye on these two, mainly this one here. We've got high pressure going in. That's going to maintain separation between these two. Let's go back to that map. This is the long wave infrared once again. And we've got a developing disturbance right here. So the high pressure is going in, and that will maintain separation between these two systems. And then we have all this thunderstorm activity up here. Okay. Now we have this is the water vapor map, the upper level water vapor map. And we can see what's happening. That eye wall is very well organized, and it's just spinning right, almost stationary. It's not going anywhere. So whoever's on this northern island here, there's not going to be a whole lot left. And we see that high pressure going in. Look at this, all that evaporation occurring. Look at all this evaporation. right here. So that's the update. This is just a short update. The Doppler map shows some scattered showers in the South Florida area. I don't have the wind charts up, but it is blowing in the southern part of Florida. We'd like to hear from the people down there. Go ahead and post what you're seeing, the conditions. Now, taking a look here at the west coast real quick, we have the last 2 days, today and yesterday, we had a lot of spraying, and today we had a lot of cumulonimbus development over the mountains as some of this moisture snuck in and made its way into Southern California. Now, we saw those cumulonimbus rising clouds being targeted. None of them yielded any thunderstorm activity, as far as I know. I was keeping an eye on things out there outside, and we could see all those shredded clouds as they were superheated. So the thunderstorm activity is being prevented by the superheating process. Here we see a couple of dry lows. This is a upper level low pressure system. There's no condensation in the vortex, and all the moisture is being blocked. We can see that transmitter activity right around that vortex, which is right dead center there. That's the lowest pressure area in that spinning counterclockwise little weather system there, but it's being squashed, and we see the evaporation. There's no evaporation. There's no condensation around that vortex. Same thing right down here. We've got about a half of a weather system right here. And we can see all the moisture just evaporating right here as it would normally enter that lower pressure area. And of course, we see the monsoonal flow moving into eastern California, the desert area. Now, earlier today, I didn't have a chance to do a video earlier today, but we saw the most massive superheating process over this area, right over the Colorado River. There was a massive supercell, much larger than this one right here, and they hit that, and it just completely collapsed. We saw a giant semicircular pressure wave moving out, and I saw that, and I just had no time to capture it and do the videos, but this is happening regularly, so we'll see this probably again very soon. Keep your eye on the western U.S. water vapor loop. That is the Goes West water vapor loop. Keep an eye on that, the water vapor and IR maps, because you're going to see a lot of this activity where these opportunities for thunderstorms move in, and they're targeted, superheated, and that completely disrupts the lift in the atmosphere, and it prevents the precipitation process. And also we had a lot of chemtrail aerosol spraying yesterday. We had a similar pattern where moisture was moving in. The jets were dispatched, specially equipped jets, that spray that nanoparticulate haze, and that stops the lift in the atmosphere. So keep an eye out for the jets, what they're doing. You'll notice that when they spray, they're not on a commercial flight path. Here in Los Angeles, we've got several, I can think of 4 or 5 major airports. We've got Burbank. You know, that's not a major international airport, but that's a big airport. We got LAX, Orange County Airport. We've got, San Diego down there. I think it's, I can't remember the name of it, but there's a few airports around here, and they all use prescribed approach paths and departure paths. Okay, so these jets that are spraying the aerosols are flying any which way they want, because they're up at 40,000 feet. Some of them, they're flying high above the weather, and they're also flying higher than the commercial flight traffic. I know that because I've been on many transcontinental flights across the U.S., and I see those planes regularly when I'm looking out the window, and they're flying, 2,000-3,000 feet above our flights, and they're spraying this stuff. It looks like whipped cream when it comes right out of the back, and then it disperses. It's amazing how that stuff spreads out. So keep your eyes out. Those are not contrails. Those are not water vapor trails. That's disinformation. And notice if you have a weather instrument after these jets spray the skies, you'll notice the relative humidity drops substantially. So that's the main thing. And of course, we've had people test these aerosols. You put a HEPA filter out in your yard and let it run for a couple of weeks. Take the filter out and have it analyzed at a laboratory, and you'll find that a lot of the main ingredients are the very same ingredients that we've been talking about. The components in the aerosols, mainly aluminum, barium, strontium, and several other toxic compounds. Okay, so that's just a short update. Here we see, once again, this is Dorian, parked in place. Got high pressure here and high pressure over here. So we've got a developing hurricane here, and we don't want this thing to mix up here, so they've installed high pressure. We can see that going in right there. Here we go, right here. See all those bands just evaporating. Right there, look at that. So this thing will probably be parked here for a while as all this moves to the north. We'll have to just wait and see. It also could be pushed, we'll just have to wait and see. These people that are doing this are heartless. They have no conscience about what they're doing. We saw Harvey here a couple of years ago come across the Gulf, and we saw high pressure installed, just like what we're seeing right here. We saw a big flat spot on Harvey, and then Harvey was pushed right into Houston, Texas, right over here actually. And once it got over land and right over Houston, then we saw high pressure right up here, right above that hurricane. It stalled it in place, just like what we're seeing right over Houston, and it rained 33 inches in 24 hours, 36 hours. Incredible amounts of rain. Okay, so that's it. We'll get another update here real soon. That's it.